Hey there, gang. Welcome back to Papa's Model Workshop. I'm Papa. This is my workshop. I want to start out today by saying thank you to my sponsor, Gaahleri. They sent me this great airbrush holder. Now, I mentioned this briefly in the last video, but I knew I wasn't going to have enough time to get into the unboxing and putting it together and so on and so forth. So I elected to do that in a separate video. So this is that video. So I'm going to open this up. It's still sealed. Okay. I like to, when I can, I like to open things up, on camera with you so you can see it at the same time I'm seeing it. So I had a utility knife here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So let's open this up and let's take a look and see what we've got here. All right. I'm anxious to get a look at this because I'll tell you a couple of reasons. Number one, I actually really kind of need this. I've got like, I don't know, 8 airbrushes back there or something like that. So when I say I need this, I really do actually need this. Here it is. This is what it looks like. Okay. It'll hold 4 airbrushes and it has this clamp that can clamp right to your workbench or work table, whatever it is you're working on. So let's take a look here and see. Okay. And they call this the air clamp. All right. And this is, let me see here. Yeah, it gives you, some basic instructions and so forth. Okay. And you've got it wrapped really nice. Okay. And there we go. That doesn't look like much holding it up to the camera, but, and I guess these are the little modules where you would actually put your airbrush in. Okay. So here's the clamp. This looks like a pretty beastly clamp. Look at that, huh? All right. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Instead of playing with it here, maybe we can move back into the workshop and see if I can get this put together quickly. And we'll put a couple of airbrushes in there and see how this thing works. The other things that I have here, I just picked this up yesterday. This is the newest arrival. Okay. Oldsmobile 442. Very cool. All right. And that will go up into the stash. And also somebody recently, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who you are, what your name is, but somebody recently had sent me a message asking about black chrome. If you can get black chrome in a foil type of a thing. And yeah, here you go. There's bare metal foil and it's in black. Okay, and I think there's even gold in here. I haven't opened this yet either. Whoever packed this up, they put a ton of tape on the back of this. Hang on, let me grab something here. I got to go to the big equipment here. Get this thing out. They must have used up a whole roll of tape on this thing. All right, hang on. We'll go back to the utility knife. Okay, I think that's finally got it. Okay. And here we go. We've got the black that I just showed you. Okay. And of course the matte aluminum. All right. And what else do we have here? New and improved chrome. All right. So this is the one that is used most of the time. And this matte aluminum, I think that's great. Okay, because I don't really like all that really shiny stuff a lot of the time. I think there's gold in here somewhere. Hang on, I'm working on it. Yep, I knew it. There we go. Okay, so bare metal foil gives you a bunch of options. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, we're going to do the Delray today. And here it is. It's all prepped and ready to go. Okay, so we're going to go with the Spirit Rally Blue. That'll be down here, okay? And the taped area has already been painted in the diamond white. We're using Kaleido colors for this entire build, with the exception of the flat black, because I needed a flat black color and I just didn't have a flat black in the Kaleido. So outside of the flat black, I will be doing this entire build in Kaleido colors. All right, so with that, I think, close up my knife so there's no accidents. I think we'll head back into the workshop, okay? So I'll meet you there. Okay, gang, we're here at the paint bench assembling our air clamp by Gaahleri. And this fits right inside the clamp, okay? And you can see these two pilot holes, all right? And so they have a couple of screws and an Allen wrench for those screws. And this just fits right inside here, okay? And then you would obviously come back around and put those screws in. What I did is I started to put just two of these airbrush holders onto this little panel here. Now, in the past, when I have put some of these things together, when you're dealing with metal on metal and so forth, sometimes it tends to be a little bit difficult to get things to slide on. So what I did to put these two on was I just ran a little bit of WD-40 over this area right here, and that helped me to slide this on just a bit easier. There's a tiny little, whoops, I'm hitting the camera, guys. Sorry about that. Let me just back this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. There's a tiny little bump in here. Okay, I don't know if the camera's picking that up. And another one over here. So it's a little bit difficult to slide this over. So I kind of anticipated that difficulty, and that's why I used the WD-40. Now, once you get at least one of these on, it makes it a lot easier, because now you have something to push against and you can kind of push against it, see? So I've got those two on, and let's see, can I get this on and push it on without much of difficulty? Yeah, there we go. Okay, and that WD-40 really did help. All right. Okay, and then this is the last piece, and we'll push this together. Okay, like I said, once you get one of these on, you can use it to push against, and then you can separate it, all right, according to the way you want your airbrush to sit. All right, pull this back out a little bit. I'm sorry, I know my big beefy hands are in the way and you can't see, but basically it's basically what I said. I just ran some WD-40 on here and just pushed it on. Okay, so now we will install this. Okay, just slide that in. Okay, and we will take our hardware. And remember, I always advocate separating your parts for your model. And I did the same thing here. So there are my pieces of hardware along with the Allen key that comes in the box. So they set you up nicely. All right, so let me get those out of there. All right, and let's see if we can screw this in quickly here. Okay, let me move this down so I have enough room to get in there. And I dropped it. Let me just get this all the way down. Now, you know that I'm a Butterfingers, but in this case, in my defense, I've got WD-40 all over my hands. So, where did we go here? Here we are. Okay, let me get this in position. Okay, there we go. Okay. And we'll put that right in there. I have a little ratcheting driver that I usually use for these sorts of things, but I didn't have a head that was small enough for this. So I had to resort to using theirs. And I lost that. Hang on, guys. Let me pause this a second. Okay, I just had to pause that a second because, you know, I'm standing behind the camera and I'm kind of reaching around the camera to do this, and I'm trying to do it in such a way that you can see it. And, you know, when you're trying to work that way, it's cumbersome and difficult. Now, what I did was I paused it and I put this screw in, and when you can, you know, pick the thing up and hold it up against you, it goes right in 1 second. But trying to operate this way from behind the camera and still trying to make it visible to you on camera is sometimes cumbersome. But anyway, not a big deal, you know, to put in a couple of screws to attach this. Okay, so here we are. All right, a little bit of WD-40 helped slide these in really nicely. All right, and we are now attached here. All right, and we just have to clamp this to the workbench. All right, so I'll tell you what, let me pause again and we'll move over to the paint booth. Okay, so we're over here at the paint booth. Okay, there you go, paint booth. All right, 3D printer, which I will learn to use one day. All right, and this is a holder that I had gotten a while ago from Harbor Freight. The problem with this is these are very narrow and it doesn't hold these trigger airbrushes at all. All right. Now, I really am trying out this for the very first time with you. So I'm hoping this holds the trigger airbrushes. We're going to find out together. So I'm putting this on the workbench and I'm going to tighten this up. Okay, I'm getting there. There we go. All right, that's nice and tight. That's not going to go anywhere. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's start out with typical top trigger airbrush. This is a Gaahleri 0.3 Mobius. All right, and let's get that right in there and see. And that seems to fit rather nicely. Okay. Yeah, it's in there nice. Okay, so let's jump right over to the one that I was wondering about. This is a Gaahleri Swallowtail. All right, you can see it's a trigger. So let's see. And that seems to fit in there very nicely. Very, very good. Okay, and it's sturdy. I mean, this isn't just hanging there by a thread or anything like that. And I also have a Grex. All right, obviously you can see that's a trigger handle that fits nicely. This is a Bucasso trigger. Okay, and there we go. So you can see all of these airbrushes are fitting in there very, very nicely. Okay, and this is not sealed. What am I trying to? It's socked down on the workbench very nicely. I mean, this isn't going anywhere. Okay, so Gaahleri, good job. I mean, this is sturdy. Sometimes you get these things and they're a little bit flimsy, and your airbrush is sometimes hanging by a thread. Not the case here at all. It's holding the airbrushes really well. You can see me shaking this, okay? And again, I've got it socked down on the workbench very nicely. This isn't moving. My suggestion is to use, hang on, use the WD-40, okay? That'll help you out with sliding these pieces on to this bar, okay? Outside of that, this went together really rather easily, and the WD-40 made it that much easier. Again, that's just my suggestion. Okay, so Gaahleri, good job. You'll get Papa's approval on this one. And let's go back over to, well, actually, you know what? Maybe we can just stay here because I wanted to shoot this with the blue color that you all voted on. So I will be using actually my swallowtail with a 0.5 needle. And you know what? I'm going to mix up just a little bit of, actually, I don't have to mix up paint. I forgot. You don't have to mix paint with Kaleido. So still, I'm going to pause this and get the paint, you know, into the cup. All right, hang on. Okay, guys, we're all set up here at the paint booth. I put some gloves on because I was working with the WD-40, and even though I wiped my hands off, I don't want to have any residue of that on my hands when I'm handling this. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, we're going to be using, just as a reminder, the Rally Spirit Blue, okay? And that's the color all of you voted on. And I know I've been getting messages saying, when are you going to do this car in the Rally Blue? We're waiting to see it, so today is the day we're going to do it, all right? So, as I said, we're going to go with our Gaahleri Swallowtail with a 0.5 needle, all right? No mixing or thinning required with these paints, okay? And I'm just going to put it right in, okay? And hang on, I just spilled some of the paint. Hang on. Okay, I cleaned up my paint spillage. You know what I did? I'll tell you. I mixed this, okay, in my Vortex mixer, and I didn't have the cap tightened down all the way. And a lot of times what I do is when I mix the paint, I'll turn it upside down and I'll mix it this way, okay, so it gets everything off of the bottom, all right? And with the cap not being on there all the way tight, I made a little bit of a mess. So a good thing to get it into the habit of doing is before you shoot your paint, this is an anti-static brush, all right? And just go over your build with the brush to get any hairs or anything like that off of your body or whatever it is you're shooting, an aircraft fuselage, or if you're building a ship, whatever. Try to get into the habit of just dusting that off. Any brush will work. I happen to use the anti-static brush by Tamiya, but any soft brush will work. Okay, so look at this. I'm putting this right to the test. See? Grab that. How convenient is that? All right. And let's start shooting. Little test spray, and I'm going to start from the bottom here. I'm only depressing the trigger halfway. Okay, light mist coats. Okay. Now, when I did the spoon test, I just kind of went in and shot it. But we're on a body now, so we're going to go with the light mist coats. And if you have seen some of my other videos, you're probably sick of hearing me say that. Light mist coats, but it's important. It is important. And for me, I like to leave the cap off of the airbrush, because that way I can see how far I've gone with the paint and if I need to reload or not. Okay, I'm coming back over this a second time, and I'm depressing the trigger just a little bit more. Okay, with an acrylic paint especially, you have to build your layers. This does lay down like a lacquer, but still, I would suggest building it up just the same, okay? That's just my opinion, just my suggestion. I'll tell you that blue looks gorgeous. It really does. Now, just a suggestion, we all paint in our own way, but just a suggestion is occasionally pause and just look, okay? Make sure that you're not missing any spots, all right? And particularly, if you're painting something with a lot of nooks and crannies. Hang on, I'm going to show you something. Hang on one second. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Hang with me, guys. I'm coming back. Okay, what I want to show you is this. Now, I have painted the engine already, okay? And you can see there's all nooks and crannies in here, okay? So when you're painting something like this, it's important to turn and look, and not just look, you have to see. There's a difference between looking and seeing, all right? When you look, you're just, taking a glance at it. Okay, that looks good. When you stop and see, all right, you're pausing and actually looking into these nooks and crannies to make sure that you got all of that, all right? So it's important when you're painting to pause and look and see, okay? That's just my opinion, just the way I do things. I'm going to shoot this one more time. You folks that voted for this blue color, I'll tell you, you're onto something. This is just absolutely beautiful. I know some of you out there are saying, okay, yeah, Papa, Gaahleri a sponsor, so of course you're going to say that. Well, you can see for yourself. You don't need me to embellish this. Look at that. I think this is beautiful. So you folks that voted for this blue color, like I said, I think you made a really good choice. And now that the voting is over with, I can tell you this, okay? Honestly, I was rooting for the green. It's really what I was rooting for. And the green was leading all the way up until the night before we ended up with the voting. So I think I'm going to call this done, okay? And this is going to go into the dehydrator, okay? So the hydrator is right here, and in it will go, okay? And there we go. Okay, so that'll take about a half an hour, all right? So I'll tell you what, let me pause this. Let's go back to the paint bench. Okay, guys, we're back over here at the paint bench, and I've mentioned before that I like to paint all of my parts ahead of time. I'm going to go over that with you in just one second, but I just finished shooting the rest of the Rally Spirit Blue color. It wasn't just on the body. We had the hood to do, and being I'm showing you the hood, I mentioned to you just a minute ago about how you have to turn and look at things. You see that ridge that runs right down the middle? When you're painting this, you have to, turn this to get the paint right in the nooks there of where that ridge meets the hood. So you have to turn it this way, you have to turn it around and turn it that way. Make sure you get this all covered solidly. All right, so I'm going to put that right into the dehydrator right now. Hang on, guys, just bear with me. All right, and there we go. That's in the dehydrator. Now, here's the thing I also wanted to show you quick, because I'm in the process of cleaning out this airbrush. I like the Kaleido paints. I think they're just superior. And the one thing that I will point out is in the cleaning process, all right? I don't know if you can see right down into that cup. All right, right in here. Can you see that blue paint that's there? And there's some down in here as well. Let me see. Let me flip that around. Can you see right here? All right, see that? Now, what happens, what I have found is if you don't get this cleaned out right away, not only does that remain, but it gets a little bit sticky, and you have to come in with a cotton swab. This is a Tamiya cotton swab, and you have to kind of scrub that. Okay, and if you do this, then you have no problem. But I just wanted to point that out, that it's not as, you know, easy as just rinsing it. You have to scrub it a little bit if you let it sit for a couple of minutes. Now, my recommendation always is clean out your airbrush as soon as you're done using it, or as soon as you're done with a particular color. You know, you don't want it to get all gunked up in here. And I did let this sit for a few minutes, and I got that little bit of residue that kind of hung on. Well, here, I've got some of it here on the outside, and you see, I have to kind of scrub that a little bit. Okay. Now, what I have found, okay, is the Kaleido cleaner works very well. And also what I have found is just plain water will clean out your airbrush very nicely with this paint. So either or, if you want a little bit of a deeper cleaning, I would suggest going with the Kaleido cleaner. Okay, I'm going to pause this one more time while I finish cleaning up this airbrush, and I'm going to show you these parts. Okay, hang on. Okay, our airbrush is all nice and clean and shiny. Okay, and one of the things I'll tell you, I've gotten some people who have emailed me because they've spotted this thing next to my paint booth, and they said, "Papa, what is that?" I'll show you what this is. This is something called gum. All right, and what this is actually is you pull this off. There you go. All right, and you use this for, I get like a dental floss kind of a thing, all right, except it's attached to a stick, you know, to get stuff out from between your teeth. But it has, can you see, is the camera picking that up? It has, it's like a brush almost, and it is great for getting into the airbrush. It'll get right down there into the throat, and where the little vents are, or jets, I guess you could call them, this will fit right inside the jets. So that is great for cleaning up your airbrush. Okay, so let's get over to these parts, okay? What I wanted to do is I wanted to make the interior a blue and white color to match the exterior, but I wanted to go with a color that was going to be just a little bit different from the Rally Spirit Blue. So I elected to go with the liquid blue, it's called, and I've got it right here someplace. Where is it? Here you go, liquid blue, all right? That is what this interior color is. Now, I really like this color a lot. I think I showed this in the last video, and this is just outstanding, this liquid blue color. So this is liquid blue on the interior with the diamond white, which is on the exterior of the Delray as well. All right. And let's see what else. Here we go. This is the front seat. Okay. And the door panels. Here we go. Okay. Now, I'm not done with this, okay? This has to be done in the silver color. Haven't made up my mind if I'm going to paint this or if I'm going to go with bare metal foil here. This, I think I'm going to do in black, all right? So, you know, where I've got a little bit of overspray, can you see right up on top there? I'm not worried about that because the black will eat that up, so I'm not worried about that at all. And then over here, where the speakers are, I'm probably going to go with either an aluminum color, maybe the tungsten steel, I'm not sure. You know, I need a little bit more to go on this before these are done. All right, so yeah, let me close that thing up. Okay, so we have our aluminum right here, our exhaust system, all right, and our semi-gloss black parts, all right, and this I taped off, and I shot this with, I think I shot that with the tungsten steel. Came out real nice. Okay, and that semi-gloss black, look at that. Isn't that nice? This is an acrylic. Remember, acrylics traditionally dry flat. All right. Well, I'll show you. Here's flat black. Look at the difference. Okay. Now, this is the one color where I had to go outside of the Kaleido line because this is just something I like to do. I like to paint my chassis flat black, and I didn't have a flat black in the Kaleido, so I had to jump over and use the Vallejo. But that is really nice. And of course, we have our diamond white. All right. And flat black, I just showed you that on the chassis. Those are our flat black colors. And the rest of our liquid blue, okay. Seat backs and so forth. Here's our dash, or the top of our dash anyway. I'll show you the dash. Let me see, get this out here. Okay. I love this liquid blue color. It really, really is outstanding in my opinion. What else? We have our steel. Okay, now look at this steel. Let me see if I can find the tweezers here. I don't want to try to reach in and grab these with my beefy fingers because I know I'll drop it. Look at that. Can you see that okay? I mean, that looks like a piece of metal. All right, that's our tungsten steel color. All right. Really, really happy with the way these turned out. Here, let me grab the drive shaft real quick and I'll show you that. Okay, look at that. Okay. Tungsten steel. All right. I think that is going to kind of do it for our colors. Typically speaking, this is just me. You can do whatever you like. Typically, I like to go with 3 to maybe 5 colors at the most. Now, I'm going to call the steel color here, okay, and the aluminum color. All right, I'm going to call both of these metal. So I'm going to refer to these as one color, even though they're technically 2 different colors. They're very similar and they're metals. So I'm calling that one. All right, just like the semi-gloss black and the flat black, technically 2 different formulations of black, but they're both black. So I will call those 2 one color as well. So I think that's, gee, I just stabbed myself on that thing. Look at how sharp this thing is. I just stabbed myself with that. Okay, I quickly paused this because I wanted to show you all of the spoons that I had on the whiteboard, and I don't know where it is, so I'm not going to keep you hanging there while I look for it. I should have been better prepared, but I didn't, so bad papa. So anyway, this is just kind of what I do. You know, I pre-paint all of my colors ahead of time by, you know, the organized by color and so forth. This is the one other holdout right here is the shocks, which I haven't painted yet. All right. And the reason I haven't painted that yet is because I actually will go to a Rust-Oleum yellow color for the shocks. I'm not a big fan of using Rust-Oleum for models, but the Rust-Oleum in this yellow that I use, let me see if I can see it real fast. I don't see it here. Okay, well, anyway, it's kind of a American cheese type of a yellow, and that's what I use on all of my shocks, okay? It may or may not be authentic to this particular car, but that's what I do. I paint my shocks yellow, and since this is my model, I get to make that choice. So that's the only other thing. Otherwise, everything is pretty much painted here. So with that, I think I'm going to, no, you know what? I'm not. I've got 2 minutes left in the dehydrator. In fact, that's close enough where I think I can take that Delray body out. And let's do a reveal by peeling that tape off, and let's see what we've got, okay? Hang on. Okay, gang, here's the Delray fresh out of the dehydrator, okay? I have not peeled off the tape, as you can see. So I'm going to find out with you how this came out, whether or not we got any bleed underneath the tape or not. I hope not. So let's take a look and see. Get this off of here. Let me see if I can do this from behind the camera in such a way that you will be able to see it. Okay, let me grab an edge here. All right. Just hang on, guys. Okay, here we go. There we go. Now, if you're like me, when you peel this tape, you get nervous because you don't know how it's going to look. All right, so let's take a look. So far, I don't see any bleed, but we just got started on this, so we've got a long way to go. Hang on while I get this off of my, it gets stuck on your fingers and you can't get it off. All right. Okay. All right. I'll tell you something I was kind of secretly considering. All right. And I'll tell you in a second. All right. Well, here's our seam. And the thing that I'm concerned with here is right above this molding here. That's the part I wanted to make sure I didn't get any bleed. Where I have a little bit of bleed on the molding itself right there, I'm not concerned with that because I'm going to, put some bare metal foil over that. So I'm not concerned with that in the least. And I'll tell you my secret little thing I was considering. I was wondering, instead of going with the chrome, okay, the silver chrome or aluminum chrome, okay, I was thinking if I went with gold as my chrome accent, how would that look against the blue? I've seen some builds with that chrome in gold, and I thought it looked pretty good. So that's something I'm considering. All right, so let me continue to pull this off. All right. Okay. And I'll tell you, I might just pause this, only because this is going to probably take me a few minutes, and I don't want to bore you. So far, this is coming out nice. You see, I've got some bleed down here. Not concerned with that at all in the engine compartment, because that's another thing I do. I paint my engine compartments flat black, and the black will eat up that blue without a problem, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, so let me see. Can I do this quickly, or am I going to have to pause this? Yeah, I got this whole set. I'm going to pause this. Okay, so I'm going to continue to pull this off, and when all the tape is off, I will come back to you. Okay, guys, all the tape is off, so here is the reveal. Overall, and in a big picture of things, I'm very happy with this. Now, we've got a little bit of bleed right there, okay? You see that? But, as I said, this trim here, I'm going to put bare metal foil on that. This is really all on that trim. So, I'll sand that a little bit with a sanding stick, and I'll put the bare metal foil over that. So really, I'm not worried about that. Here we have a little bit of it on the trim here as well. Okay. But again, it's on the trim. It's going to get bare metal foil. This side, same thing. We had a little bit of bleed that got on the trim here, but it's the same story. This is going to get done with the bare metal foil. All right. I'm really very happy that I went with the decision of the blue color on the bottom and up on the top here. A lot of these cars, your color will go up to this trim line here, and then it's white in the back. That didn't appeal to me. So I'm really happy that I decided to go with this combination. All right. And we got a little bit of bleed right there. But again, tail lights will go in there and you will never see that. Okay. And I'm falling off my stand. All right. And then, of course, the only other area is in the engine compartment. Now, the one area that I will have to work on a little bit is right in here. Okay. I will have to sand that. And you know something? I'll tell you what. I just realized something just this second. I painted that hood blue. You know what? I don't think I want that to be blue. I think I wanted the hood to be white. So what that means is I'm going to have to strip that hood, as nice as that paint job was, and paint it white. So major boo-boo on the part of Papa. It's something that we can deal with, but it was just carelessness on my part. I had that hood sitting in the bin for the Rally Spirit blue, and without thinking about it, I just picked it up and I shot it with the blue. So I think that's something I'm going to have to change. Otherwise, the general colors on this are really very nice, so I'm pleased with it, and I'm glad that you folks ultimately voted for this color. Okay, so let's set that back there. And of course, you know that if you want to buy any Gaahleri airbrushes, paints, you know, the Kaleido paints, okay, anything, if you go to the Gaahleri website at checkout, you'll see a discount box, and here's my discount code, Papa's Model Workshop, discount code PPMW. You put this in at the checkout, and you will get 10% off of your entire deal. Okay, and while I'm holding this, if you are a content creator and you want to swap shop cards, there is the mailing address. Okay, no, you're not going to get 10% off of my shop card. I send those out for free. So, and if you would like a shop card sent to you, there's my email address. Okay, and let me know what you think about that harebrained idea of using gold trim instead of the silver. Okay, and yeah, it's not a bad looking shop card, so let me know if you want a shop card. Okay, send me an email, let me know. Okay, and a note to my contact Sita at Gaahleri. I know that she is asking me, when are you going to get the link up in your descriptions? And I think I've got it figured out. My son Jimmy came over yesterday and not only showed me how to do it, but he put the link up, and I think I've got it down now. And I also want to thank Ken from Model Building in Retirement. He sent me a message trying to coach me along and tell me how to do it. So thank you to Ken at Model Building in Retirement and my son Jimmy. I think I should be able to get the link to Gaahleri up on this video. And see, I got my blue paint on there. And we should be on our way with that. So Sita, thank you for being patient with me. I hope I don't screw this up, but I think I've got a pretty good idea of how to get that link up there now. So, all right, this video is running really long. We're coming up on almost 43 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Give me a thumbs up. If you're watching this on the Facebook side, please jump over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button for me. It helps the channel, helps me, and if I get enough subscriptions, then you will be able to be stuck with me. All right, so thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.